How's it going, people? Sam and Slappy here, and this is your quest guide for the brand new quest, Heroes Welcome, full run guide, start to finish, no fast forwarding, just what you need to know to get this bad boy done and done with. So, starting off, what the hell do you actually need? Well, you need to have completed Lunar Diplomacy, type 1 trio, you need skill levels of 67 Mining, 67 Smithing, 62 Slayer, 60 Divination, and B100 Combat. You also need to have completed all of Auto God Blessed Barbarian training in order to do this. Item-wise, you'll require at the minimum 1 soft clay, 1 mithril bar, and some kind of anti-fire protection, whether that's a shield, a regular pot, or a super anti-fire pot. I do recommend, however, you also have yourself a set of supers or extremes or overloads, also a prayer pot cupboard coming handy, and a prayer renewal obviously. You'll obviously want food because there's going to be some fighting in this bad boy. Mage setup is probably your best bet with their spells because most of them use melee and mage rips through them, and also a ferocious ring or games necklace to get to the ancient cabin quickly. So, once you're all done and ready, up to Rellekka it is, and right up to this dock, and speak to either Freya or Elfric just standing by here. And there's a lot of text throughout this entire quest, so I am going to be spamming through it. I do recommend you do the same if you want to keep up with the guide. So, as soon as you get the set of options, choose option 2, of course, and keep spamming through that bad chat. In case you're curious what's happening, when the second thing comes up, just choose option 2, agree to go along for now. They're basically talking about V, and he is the god of Rellekka, and he's coming here. As soon as you're ready, go ahead and simply accept the quest. Spam through the chat, same old, same old. And once you're finished talking to them, you want to go just to your southwest into the little armor shop and speak to Ursa. Choose option 1, can I ask you about V? And we're going to be doing this with a bunch of other NPCs in just a moment, so just remember the option is anything about V. Head a little bit to your south and you'll see Pierre the Seer just wandering outside this little shack here. Go ahead and talk to him, run through his chat. Option 1, can I ask you about V? Spam through his chat again until eventually he shuts up and we can move on. So once you've done that, you want to head to the building just to the southeast of Pierre the Seer, and inside you'll find Swenson the Navigator. Go ahead and chat to him and ask him about V. Spam through it. Good times. Now you want to run north into the market centre and you'll find Sigmund the Merchant wandering about. He'll be typically around the north side of the market itself. Go ahead and speak to him. And that's right, you guessed it. Choose anything about V. So once you finish chatting answers to him, head to the main log cabin where you can find Brunt the Chieftain in this big old long cabin right in the centre. Speak to him and go ahead and ask about V once again. Spam through all of his chat. And inside this same long cabin, just to the north, you will find Manny the Reveller walking back and forth with beer. Same deal again, option 1, can I ask you about V? Spam through his chat. Now you want to speak to Olaf the Bard. You'll find him just towards the southeast side of this long cabin, so make your way outside and across the northeast side, and you'll find Olaf the Bard wandering about just up in this little corner here. Go ahead and speak to him and choose option 1, can I ask you about V? Hey, it's not bad, is it? That's the first part done. Happy days. So go back to Alec and Freya and go ahead and speak to them again. And it's time to answer a little question here. Nice and simple. Got the answers for you. No worries. So spam through the chat. Choose option 2, let me help. And you'll have this little thing pop up here. The first one is The Ballad of the Giant Basilisk. The second one is Winter's Eye. The third one is Yes, Simple Air and Water Magic. The next one after that is A Victory Feast. The next one after that is As a Returning Hero. Then At the End of the Third Age, and Out of Respect for Guthix. If you missed any of those, pause the video now and you'll be able to see them. Once you've answered all of those and said done, you'll get this little cutscene. Well, I say little, it takes quite a while. So basically V, the god of feminine kind, has finally come back to Gielinor and he's gonna plop down and be like, "Hey guys, want a beer?" And yeah, that's pretty much the entire cutscene, to be honest. He's a big old bugger, fair play. Either way, as soon as you can, start spamming through that chat. That's the way we do it. You can choose whichever option here for reacting to him. It makes absolutely no difference. Yeah, it does take a while. Fair play. Oh, there we go then. So once your cutscene's ended, you will randomly appear somewhere in Rellekka. I myself landed in this little chicken pen because apparently I got absolutely smashed. As soon as you're ready, make your way back up to Freya and Elfric again and go ahead and speak to them. And they will eventually teleport you to this little island. And that is where we're going. So, spam through the chat, same as usual. Choose option 1, yes. And off we go to the magical island of V. So, welcome to V's island. It's pretty straightforward, this bit. There's a fair bit of walking back and forth, but nice and simple. If you ever need a return, you can simply speak to Elfric or Freya and just choose the option yes. Either way, as soon as you're on this island, directly in front of you will be this dodgy little V shape made out of stone. Click on it to enter the cave. Once inside, run to the opposite end and you'll see V. Go ahead and chat with him for a bit. Choose whichever option you want here, either your name or your Rellekka name. It's entirely up to you. And spam through the old chat. Choose any of those options, doesn't matter which one, option of 3. And finally choose option 4, I need to get moving, and we'll move on with this quest. So once you've done all that, make your way back out the way you came, so head through the southern exit, and you'll be back at the top side. And at this point we now need to give some energy to V, so head to the northwest corner and you'll see this little gnarled tree here. Go ahead and click on it. And give it a few seconds as a divination spot will randomly appear. You'll do the divination animation, V will pop up and you'll be like, hey guy, I'll do this. And then run through his chat. Once you've done that, make your way down to the southwest side where there is a second gnarled tree. And you just need to click on that and you'll start siphoning off that divination spot while V's doing the other one. And you'll power him up. And we've got to do this a couple of times with a few different items on this island. It's fairly straightforward. So just to recap, northwest tree, wait a second till V pops up, run through his chat. Once he's finished short nonsense, make your way down to the southwest corner, you'll see the second tree, click on that. You'll have a big old flash of light and it'll be like, congratulations, you've done 1 out of 5. So there we go. Once you've done that, you want to head to the west side from the southwest tree, just north a bit. The fishing boat you'll find right here on top of this cliff, go ahead and investigate it. That'll pop up another divination spot, V will pop up as well. He'll start siphoning and it's time for us to grab the other one. So from here you want to head to the east of the island and you'll find the second ship. It's fairly straightforward, right next to the pier on the water. Go ahead and click on it and you'll start siphoning the second one and that is 2 out of 5 done. Good times. So run through the chat in order to complete the 2 out of 5. And from here there's a dock literally right next to you. Go ahead and click on that and that'll start up another divination spot. And V will pop up once again to do it. So once he's appeared, go ahead and run through his chat and then head literally directly south and you'll find the second dock. Go ahead and click on that and you'll form another divination spot and that's 3 out of 5 done. Nice and simple. Big old flash of light. Wait for him to start talking nonsense to you. Spam through the chat. So, directly to your east, you see a little dungeon entrance, or a cave entrance, however you want to say it. Go ahead and click on that. That'll start up another divination spot. V will pop up once again. He'll start siphoning, spans through his chat. And then directly to your northwest, near enough in the dead centre of the island, you'll find another cave entrance, or trapdoor entrance, however you want to say it. Go ahead and click on that, and that'll spawn the second divination spot. And you'll have another big old flash of light. And there's 4 out of 5 complete. So there you go, 4 out of 5, spam through the chat, same as usual. I'm sure you get the idea by now. Directly to the northwest of the island, near the tree, or where the tree was I should say, to the west of it is a small little outcrop of rocks. You'll have to hover over it with your mouse. There's this one just to the north of where I'm standing right now. Right next to the old yak. Click on this little rock formation here, that'll spawn a divination spot. Again, V will pop up, again you will spam through his chat. And again, we'll move on to the second place and start siphoning. Directly northeast of you, you'll see a bunch of planks. Just to the east of that is the next rock formation, and is right here. Go ahead and click on these. This will spawn the final divination spot. You'll have your final bright little white flash. V will finally stop annoying you and spam through his chat. So once you've done all that, you now want to go back into the cave where V was. So from where you are, directly down towards your southeast to the dodgy little stone V formation. Go ahead and enter. And then run up north and talk to V once again. And it's time for a big old cutscene again. So, spam through the chat. Yay! Although if you do like your lore, this is a pretty interesting quest to actually read, so maybe worth your while. But for the sake of the quest guide, I'm spamming through everything. So, enjoy your Dragonkin reunion. So, once you regain control, you've probably already guessed what I'm about to say, but spam through all the chat. And basically you'll find out the Dragonkin are here, and they're annoying, and blah 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 blah. Killed V, the one in red is evil, we're going to poke him in the face later on. You know, etc etc. What you'd typically expect from a quest. Spam through it, and eventually we regain control. So once you're back in control, you want to head through the northern door just behind the now dead V. And in the east side of this room is a small little chest and a backpack. Go ahead and search it. You will need 2 spaces for this, unfortunately. So if you have extra food like myself, just go ahead and munch one. And once you have those spaces, go ahead and read V's journal. And, well, I say read. Open her up and spam through it quickly, then close it, and you'll receive some fragments of a map. Cha-ching! So with the fragments in your inventory, go ahead and click on them, and you now have to solve a puzzle. So for this bit, I'm just going to cut to the solution, so you don't have to. So this is the full solution. Just pause the video now, and you can place all of your pieces so it looks exactly like this. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. It's very, very simple. Nice and easy. That's the full completed puzzle. Job done. So with that said, now that you've got the map made, go ahead and click done to finish it. And it's time to make our way to Baxtorian Falls, also known as the Ancient Cavern. So if you've got your Kuradal's ring, or your Ferocious ring I should say, go ahead and teleport straight there. Alternatives, games necklace, straight to Barbarian Outpost, then jump into the Whirlpool, and you can always use the Fairy Ring just to get straight here next to where the Water Fiends are. Either way, you need to come up to where Kuradel is and run past it towards the Ancient Forge, and you'll see this little ancient door on the side here. Go ahead and click on that bad boy and run through the chat. Once you've done that, right click on your soft clay and use it with the door. This will make a key mold. We need this key mold, so make sure you do right click on your soft clay and then on the door in order to get it. With the mold in hand, hopefully you have your anti-fire on you. If not, it's time to bank. And we're going to be going to the mithril dragons, and it's very simple. You don't have to kill any of them. You just want your anti-fire protection so they don't decimate you whilst doing this. You simply need to walk in there with the mold as well as your mithril bar on you, and simply use your myth bar on the mithril dragon, and you will eventually create a mithril key. That's it. So in case you don't know where the myth dragons are, pretty much run to the far east of the cave and you've got this set of stairs here. Climb up, take your anti-fire potion, shield, whichever one you brought along with you. Use your myth bar on the mithril dragon. You may have to do this a couple of times as it's kind of random and slow. And once you're done, you receive your mithril key automatically. Job done. As soon as you've done that, run out because there's no point finding it. So with the mithril key in hand, it's now time to go back to that ancient door just past Kuradel. So go to the southwest corner of this dungeon once again, climb up the stairs to get to Kuradel, or if you still have charges on your Kuradel's ring, your ferocious ring, go ahead and teleport, save yourself a bit of time. Run past it towards the ancient door, and simply try to open it, and you'll automatically use the key. So as soon as you use it, run through the chat quickly, and you've now unlocked it. Click on it again in order to open it. And at this point, you need to have your anti-fire stuff with you again, as we're going to be fighting one adamant dragon. They're very, very easy. Think of mithril dragons, just less scary. If that makes any sense at all. Literally just poke it in the face until it stops moving, and that's it. That's literally all there is to this fight. It really isn't hard. An inventory of food isn't even necessary. Just kill it without much trouble at all, and jobs are good, and we can move on to the next section. So, once the dragon is dead, you'll receive a little cutscene and you'll see some more Dragonkin antics. As we know, Big Red is evil, so Big Red's going to go on a bit of a rampage here. He's going to poke his friends in the face, and then his friends are going to Hadouken him, and he'll be like, no, and run away. Because, you know, cliche evil bad guy things. And that's pretty much it for this cutscene. That's all you really need to know. Alright, maybe leaving out a few details here, but whatever. Quickly spam through the chat, same old, you know the deal by now. So, here we are then. After your big ass cutscene with the Dragonkin, you finally have control and we're now inside the Dragonkin base. Yeah! So from here, run directly west and go to the western room. And inside this room, there'll be a chest over on the far west side. We need to open that chest to get the goodies inside. And it's fairly simple. You've got these pillars here. It's not like the dungeoneering one where you can jump 2 sections at once. You have to be pillar to pillar to pillar, no spaces in between. And for that, it's very, very straightforward. Head towards the southwest side and jump onto this pillar right by here. Nice and simple, just to the west. Either choose the far southwestern pedestal or the one next to it to jump to the pillar you wish. So jump to this one right here. And then go to the northeastern one, then northeast again, northwest one, northwest again, then southwest, and open up the chest. Opening up that chest gives you the Dragonkin key. So with that in hand, we now need to make our way to the north side, so jump back on the pillar, then northeast, northeast, and that's pretty much it. You're now on the north side. Yeah, do you really need a guide for this? On the floor now you'll see some giant squares. Don't walk on them. If you walk on them it'll reset it and you've got to do the back bit again. It's annoying, so just simply take some safe steps. So you want to walk up to it up to this point and you'll see you have these dodgy coloured crates. And you want to move this one in the northeast side up 2. Make sure you don't push it too far and it goes on to the tile behind it. Otherwise that'll alert the Dragonkin and you'll have to do it again. Carry on through and head north a touch until you see these 2 crates right by here. And you can move these north twice. Make sure it's only twice. Do not push it a 3rd time, otherwise you'll activate the trap and start again. So once they're here, move the eastern crate twice so it's in the wall. Then go north 2 steps. And move this northernmost crate west once. Only once. Once you've done that, double back around. And then move the southern central crate north once. And then make your way to the north side. And run directly east through the doorway. Nice and simple. So once you're in this room, there's a chest on the south side. Go ahead and open that up. And inside you will receive the little Dragonkin protection charm. Go ahead and equip that. We do need that equipped because we're going to be poking a Dragonkin in the face very, very soon. You'll also receive some notes. Quickly spam through those. If you didn't receive the notes or the charm for any reason, you may need one more inventory space. Go ahead and munch your food. You'll be alright. Once you've read the notes, spam through the chat. And as soon as you're ready, make your way down to Port Sarim. And this is time for, I suppose you can call this the sub-boss. So if you need food or pots or you don't have them on you, you need super anti-fires or anti-fire protection of some kind or other. I highly recommend your super sets. Prayer renewal would obviously be handy. Some prayer pots, you only need 1 I expect for this. And a bollock ton of food. I highly recommend bringing along a beast of burden, especially if you're a lower level, as you can take some fairly hefty damage in the fight. All in all, it's not massively difficult if you're a high level and you're well prepared though. So, yeah, there is that. So once you're ready, teleport to Port Sarim and make your way down to QBD. Do not enter QBD though. If you have the agility level, go ahead and use this shortcut right by here to get down to the bottom level. If not, you're going to have to run through all of the tunnels until eventually you get towards QBD's entrance. Either way, this is where the QBD entrance is. You just want to head a little bit west of it, or if you go in the long route, you'll be hitting it first, and you'll see this massive little circular cellar here. Go ahead and climb down these stairs. You'll get a little cutscene, and we'll be fighting one of the Dragonkin very, very soon. If for whatever reason the same thing happens to you as it did to me on the screen just now, just re-enter again and it'll carry on the cutscene. For some reason it just randomly kicked me out. Yeah, don't really know why myself, but whatever. As soon as you enter, you'll get a cutscene. The 2 Dragonkin will start talking to each other. Big Bad Red will poke his friend in the face. He'll fall down and be like, ow. Then he'll run off. Yeah, you know, same old, same old. So here we go then. Fight time. It's you versus Big Bad Red. Stage 1. Fairly straightforward fight. All you really need to do is keep your protection prayers on. Use your super sets or your extreme set or your overload, whichever one you have. Make sure you keep your life up, simple as. And ideally use protect from melee here rather than soul split, as he fairly consistently hits 1Ks, and that's with mage armor, which is meant to be pretty resilient versus melee. So yeah, protect from melee is your best bet. Keep your life up, poke him in the face. There is only one thing to kind of pay attention to during this fight, is occasionally a massive skybox will pop up and be like, dude is charged at a slam attack, move out the way. As soon as that pops up, you move out the way. Yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. It does kind of tell you that in the box itself. All in all, that is pretty much this fight in a nutshell. Protect from melee will help you out a lot. Instead of doing 1Ks, you should be knocking about 500s off, which is a lot better. And when he does his little slam move, just move out of the way so you don't get stunned and beat on. Nice and simple. Mage works fairly well here, so I do recommend it, hence why I said it at the very beginning of the video. I'm sure you can do this in different combat modes though, so yeah, if you really don't like mage, or for whatever reason you don't have mage leveled, use something else. Simple as that. All in all, that is this fight in a nutshell. Protect from melee, stab him until he dies. Move out the way of his slam. That is your tactics. That is how you kill the Dragonkin. And that is pretty much it for the fight. So when you kill him, he's like, bleh, and then grows arms, because this is apparently Resident Evil and he's a tyrant or something, I don't know. That is pretty much it for phase 1 of the fight. Phase 2 of the fight, if you need food and stuff, I highly recommend to go grab it, and we'll do so right about now. But before we leave, go ahead and talk to the Dragonkin Phalanx, or Phalanx, whatever the hell his name is. Spam through his chat, same as usual. If you like your lore, carry on talking to him. If not, choose option 5, I'm done here. And that is pretty much it for this little section. So all there is left now is the big old boss fight. So go ahead and bank, restock your food and stuff, as we'll be needing it. I recommend mage again, and protect from melee through the next fight, as it's pretty much the same as what we just did. For now, you can get rid of all the keys and the books and the journals and all the rest of the nonsense we picked up through the quest so far. What you want is your superset, your anti-fire protection, your prayer renewal ideally. 1 prayer pot should be more than enough per attempt. I highly recommend bringing along a beast of burden and filling him with munchies as well, as you will very likely need it. So this next section with the boss, you can take a fairly substantial amount of damage, I'm not going to lie. Although, what I'm going to recommend, I seem to take little damage in comparison to what you can do. So once you're ready, you need to head over to Brimhaven Dungeon, and you want to head to where the Iron Dragons and the Steel Dragons are. And in the corner of the Steel Dragon room is a little doorway which never used to exist until this quest came out, and that's where we're going. So once you're stocked up, you've got your supersets, your renewals, your anti-fires, your prayer pots and whatnot, and your bollock ton of food plus a bob full of food. Make your way over there. So tally Brimhaven into the dungeon. Take the second from the north path, jump across the 7 stones past the moss giant. Run all the way south, ignoring the first eastern turn. Take the second one. Double back up towards the northeast corner. Go through the rooms till you hit the black demons, and then head, I think it's east, into the iron and the steels. That's where we're going, and that's where the boss is. So the boss itself, before we get there, I'll explain it to you, or at least try. There's 2 stages. The first stage, he will stay in the center of the room, and you can't do any damage to him. Instead, there are 4 giant stone pillars in the room, and the room is split into 4 quarters. The boss has a few attacks. His first round of attack, he'll start breathing flames and he'll spin around. If at any point you're hit by any kind of dragon flame, there are 2 pools in opposite corners of the room. You need to run into those, otherwise you will take consistent damage. Even if you're no longer being hit by the flame technically, you'll just keep on getting burned by it, essentially. Which is why you need to jump into the water. That's his first attack. It's fairly straightforward, very simple to dodge, run around the room. Nice and easy. His second attack, he'll face a certain direction in 1 quarter of the room. Whichever direction he's facing, it'll suddenly start to explode and rocks will fall down. If you get hit by them, you take a fairly chunky amount of damage. Yeah, fair enough. And he'll do this a few times, and then eventually he'll fire a massive fireball right at you, and it explodes on impact. And that's the one we're going to be making use of, as well as the 4 pillars. So in order to complete the first phase, the 4 pillars, you need to mine them until they're partially broken, and you can see it visually, and it'll also tell you within your chat, and a little skybox will pop up as well. So go in, mine the pillars until they're broken, and whenever one of those giant flame bombs comes at you, run towards one of the broken pillars, or simply stay near one of the broken pillars at all times. Once that explodes and you're standing next to it and you've already weakened the pillar by mining it, it'll collapse, and once all 4 are collapsed, that'll end the first phase and you'll squash Chunky Dragonkin, whatever his face is, and you move on to the second phase where it's just a straight out melee. So this is the boss room. I highly recommend watching this before you go ahead and fight him, simply so you know what you're going into. Some people have said this boss has been extremely difficult, others have found it very simple. I did this first time, personally found it rather easy, but it's better to have the heads up, you know? So these are the giant pillars I'm talking about. There's 4 pillars in total. You kind of need to angle your camera towards Dragonkin Boy so you can see what he's doing at any time, to see which direction he's facing, to see which side will explode, etc. This is his little flame breath attack. As you can see, I'm taking huge numbers of damage here. Stand in the water and you will avoid it. Nice and simple. But keep trying to mine these pillars until eventually they are broken. There's 2 stages to each pillar. When you mine it, eventually your bloke will just randomly stop mining, at which point you need to click on the pillar again to carry on weakening it until it's pretty much almost fucked. So you can see that pillar now at the very top left of the screen, or at the top of the screen at this point. That's now been broken, and this is the second pillar here. That's the big old flame attack. That's what you need to explode next to these half-broken pillars. So whichever method you decide to use, you can either do 1 pillar at a time, then move on to the next one, or you can do like I'm doing on screen now and run to pillar to pillar to pillar, breaking them, and then just taking the fire bombs and breaking all the pillars all at once. Either way, that's how you do the first phase. So, once you've fully crumpled all 4 pillars, and you've got his explodey bomb to hit all 4 of them, and all 4 pillars get destroyed, big old Dragonkin gets crushed. And that is the end of Phase 1. So Phase 2, kind of like a basic brawl, to be totally honest. The only difference is there'll be rocks falling down, and randomly there'll be big old fire explosions on the floor that stay there for quite a period of time. Honestly, the best bet is use Protect from Melee for this, pot up, same as usual, and try to stay around or near the water. For whatever reason, when I stayed near the water, the big fire explosions, which should stay on the floor for a period of time, kind of disappeared as soon as they did appear. So whether that's a glitch or whether that's meant to happen because you're standing in the fire, I don't know. The advantage of this battle is not only can you get hurt by the fire and the falling debris, the boss can also get hurt by the fire and the falling debris. So when a big old fire on the floor is like that, just move a few steps out of the way so the boss gets stuck in the fire as well, and he'll take constant damage at the same time as being beat on by you. Additionally, just like the sub-boss battle against the regular Dragonkin, or regular version of Dragonkin, he'll randomly use his special little slam move to try and stun you. Just move out of the way. When big old box pops up right in front of you, you know when it's happening, just move a couple of steps and you'll be golden. If you get caught, then you're stunned for a little bit, so just try to keep your HP high. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much all there is to this boss. The rocks that fall don't seem to fall in the water, and for the most part, the fire seems to get put out by the water as well. So in essence, dodge his little slam move so you don't get stunned, and if you get caught in the fire and the fire stays there, or the rocks keep falling in one position in particular, try and maneuver the boss so he's constantly getting hit by it, as you can see on screen right now. He's getting completely pummeled by the falling water, well, rock, sorry. And that's pretty much it for this boss fight, to be totally honest. There's not a whole lot to it. It's all about trying to manage where the boss is positioned so he's taking constant damage so you can drop him quicker. Besides that, that is pretty much it. It's a fairly straightforward boss battle. Not too much to worry about. Just keep an eye on whether or not the flame is still there or whether it disappears. If it's still there, move to the side a bit, position the boss into the flames. He'll take constant damage instead of you. Nice and simple. Boss gets raped. You win. Complete the quest. Job's a good un. That's pretty much it. Not bad going, is it? You just killed the Dragonkin. Just like that. So, once he's dead, quickly run through the chat, and you'll get the two factions of Dragonkin appearing, and they'll start to badmouth each other, and eventually it turns into a fight and you run away. You do have a choice. You can either agree with one kind, call the plan stupid, or say nothing. Doesn't really matter which one you choose, entirely up to you. And that's pretty much it for this quest. All that's left after this point is telling back up to Rellekka, speaking to Freya or Aelfric to complete the quest. They'll teleport you to V's Island again, walk inside, and run to the end room, and that's it. Quest complete right there. Job done. So once you run through the chat and you're back in the Steel Dragon section, teleport up to Rellekka, and as I just said, go ahead and speak to Freya or Aelfric, and they'll eventually teleport you back to V's Island. Once you're at V's Island, go back into the cave entrance where V's body is, and go to the backside where we picked up, well, stole, I should say, from his backpack, and talk to Freya inside. As soon as you do that, that is quest complete. So, what do you get for actually completing this quest then? Well, 2 quest points, 10k smithing XP, 10k mining XP, 10k slayer XP, 10k divination XP. You also gain access to that Dragonkin lair of adamant dragons, which is quite nice. You also gain access to the Abomination Cave Bane Ore Rocks, which saves you going all the way through Kethsea, which is quite nice considering rune dragons require them. And it'll save you quite a lot of faffing around. Additionally, which is actually kind of a nice little bonus here, you gain the ability to produce 5% more runes whilst rune crafting, which is pretty nice, gotta be said. Additionally, there's a replayable Abomination boss fight, that final boss battle, you can do that again, which has the potential to drop the main hand and offhand dragon javelins, as well as an Abomination cape, which is a level 75 cape, which I do believe is tradable. So there is that. And as usual, you also gain 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. There we go, people. That is it. That is your brand new quest. That is the Hero's Welcome quest guide, start to finish, without fast forwarding. Everything you need to know to complete this bad boy. In one clean, sweet-ass run. Job done. So, hopefully you found that useful, and you've now completed it. Congratulations. I will catch you all later. Have a good one.